Well, hello, my lovelies. Welcome, welcome, welcome back to the table. Today, we are going to look at the archetype of Mr. George Harrison. John Lennon's reading was quite interesting, don't you guys think? Yes, we found his archetype is that of the leader of the band, basically, the one who got the band into their initiation rites. Crazy. So what do you think of when you think of George Harrison, archetypally? I personally think of a mystic, of someone who is in touch with his spiritual side, somebody who has a bit of mystery, the dark horse, as it were, right? I'm interested to see what the cards have to say, though, about his archetype in the band, just because he was sort of the spiritual glue that held them together, with his Krishna consciousness and all that jazz, Okay, there's a jumper. It came out right away. The forest. Okay, well, let's check out Mr. Harrison's archetype. Let's do one more shuffle. These are very hard to shuffle because they're round. Okay, let's check it out. The forest. The vision. The underworld. Interesting. The forest, the vision, the underworld. Okay. Oh, look, the mystic. Oh, that's funny. Okay. The seed. The thread. Interesting. The thread that held them all together. Ooh! Okay, well, there's our last one. And we have the riddle. Talk about mystery, right? The forest, the vision, the underworld, the seed, the thread, and the riddle. Well, let's look to the guidebook to see what it has to say about these beautiful cards and Mr. Harrison. I'll see you guys on the other side. All right, so taking a look at this spread, the very first card that we drew is the forest. Okay, so the forest represents the woods, the thicket, or the jungle. Consider for a moment your earliest memory of the forest. It's likely it included all the mystic dynamics of this archetypal space. A little fear, a little enchantment, perhaps losing your way, perhaps discovering a secret mystical treasure. Such is the magic of the forest. It requires first that you enter it, and then that you get lost within it. You may think there is a path to lead you straight through, but soon enough you'll be on what is known as the pathless path. There are tricksters here, dense foliage, and entanglement, but equally present are the glimmers of fairy light and friends among the trees. You're on an adventure now, and there's no turning back, so embrace the dim light and the moving shadows, whether literal or imaginal. Brave the forest and get lost, getting found. Yes, so to the left in the black, it says the hunter, the maiden, the crone, and the shaman make regular appearances in the forest. Don't be surprised if these cards come together. Let the narrative reveal itself. Okay, in the red on the right, if you get out of the forest without feeling lost, you were only in a little grove of trees. The great archetypal forest requires we spend at least one night frightened for our life. When it's light, the forest can represent magic, childlike wonder, and adventure. When dark, concealment, density, or savagery. Okay. All right, so the next card in the spread is the vision. And the vision represents the dream, the imagined, or the revealed. It is said that we are each born with a unique vision, a destiny toward which we are aimed. It is also said that we forget this vision the moment we are born. Thus, we are sent on a lifetime journey of rediscovery. Such is the elusive nature of the vision. It slips away, yet it guides. It appears in strange dreams and surreal images, seemingly unattainable and preposterous. When we are connected to the vision, we carry an inspired, enchanted aliveness that others recognize. We trust the world and its synchronicities. We walk through new doors into wondrous opportunities. We all want to be near those with vision. They emit energy more potent than any elixir. When we lose connection to the vision, life becomes dull and exhausting, lacking meaning. Bring back the mystery. There you go. Bring back the dreams. So in red on the left, you can gauge how connected you are to your vision by how tired you are, since the vision feeds us energy. It affects our life force and vitality. And on the right in the black, look at art you've loved when you were really young. Listen to old records and poems. These are all ways to activate the vision. And when it's light, the vision represents potent imagination, synchronicity, and trust. When it's dark, it's showing a disconnect from art and dreams, listless or aimless. Okay, great. So, so we have so far the forest where mystery abounds, the vision where energy is brought forth, and it guides us through our lives. Just very interesting, right? So the next card is going to be the underworld. This is very interesting. The underworld represents the nightmare, the ordeal, the bottom. This is no time to mince words. The archetypal territory of the underground is fraught with nightmares, suffering, and pain. It is the darkest shadow realm which we try vigilantly to avoid or deny at any cost. Try as we might, the darkness pulls us into its depths through disturbing dream images, unexpected accidents, illness, war, conflict, and ultimately death. Not visiting the underworld or denying its existence altogether is what gives it dangerous power. Traversing it forces us to bow humbly to the greater forces that be, while summoning the inner strength we previously underestimated. Take solace that the underworld subsumes everyone from time to time, making us deeper friends, more intimate partners, soldiers of light amid our shadowy times. Facing darkness and choosing light is the most profound calling of all. Yes. Okay, so on the left in the black, search for images of a map of Dante's Inferno. What does the story of epic descent stir in you? On the right, one of the earliest stories on record is that of the goddess Inanna's descent. Turns out, descending into the underworld is as old as time itself. When it's light, the underworld represents bravery, depth, facing of deepest fears. When in dark, it's denial, suppression, evil, or unconsciousness. Very interesting, right? The shadows that are in the forest are also in the underworld. The unsettling visions that one can get from the fear and the shadows. Oh, very interesting. So the seed is the next card, and the seed represents the beginning, the origin, the pearl. Beginnings come in many forms. They are not always a beautiful seed placed intentionally nourishing soil. Origin stories, like any birth story, are complex, surprising, multi-layered, and usually reveal a central image or detail that represents the fully formed being. Simply stated, the end is present in the beginning, or the entire oak tree resides within the acorn. Whether you follow this imaginal theory or not, know that when this card appears, there is potent generative energy all around. It stirs your very insides and usually results in an artsy, impatient feeling. Pay particular attention to what agitates you, as it is a sure sign of growth to come. You are bumping up against a growth edge. It is from the grit that the pearl eventually comes to be. Okay, so looking to the left in black, one of the alchemist's favorite images was the pearl. The irritant, over time, becomes the treasure. What is your grit? On the right in red, it says, the true seed is elusive. If we follow any story towards its origin, it spirals farther and farther back in time. In this way, we are always the seed and always the fruit it bears. When light, the seed represents generative, fertile, germinating, or building. When dark, festering, stewing, or something's dormant. Very interesting. Okay, so the seed is the beginnings of something. Okay, so then we go to the thread. And the thread represents the path, the vein, the circuit. Life is a triangle, so much happiness simultaneously and circumstantially, leaving us grappling for meaning and direction in a network of distractions. When we connect to the energy of the thread, however, we strike the deepest vein in the body. Our whole being responds to its tug. Meaning is pumped through our bloodstream. Our mind and spirits are lifted. We remember who we are and that we came into this world, what we came into this world to do. Though this happens on the most profound level, it could be the simplest incident that activates the thread. A song, an image, a conversation heard in passing. No matter how confusing and multi-layered our modern lives become, if we are connected to the thread, we are free. Being tethered to its only anchor, our heart requires. Wow. So on the left in black, you may think you have to find the thread and pull it. Imagine, though, that it's already tied around you, waiting for you to follow it home. On the right in red, recall a moment in your life when you felt fully alive. The thread is waiting for you and the details of that memory. So when light, the thread represents the circuit of the meaning within chaos. When dark, it's binding, frustrating, and tout. Okay. The thread is perfect, and it goes hand in hand with the seed going into, the underworld and the forest where the shadows dwell. You're attached to this chaos in life, the mysteries in life, but you're able to see the meaning of it all. If that doesn't sound like Mr. Harrison, I don't know what does. Okay, and then the final card is the riddle. The riddle represents the puzzle, the question, the mystery. And Mr. Harrison is a mystery. When the riddle is present, one must stop searching for the right answer. It cannot be found, and ultimately it is not important. Rather, there must be a shift from the literal to the metaphorical, from logic to mythic. You are thinking too small and literally about the situation. The riddle card appears when the energy is deep and mysterious, like the elusive wisdom in a Zen koan. Focusing harder won't do it. Neither will increased effort. Time, surrender, and humor are your only allies. What feels like the most pressing dilemma won't reveal its deeper wisdom for a long time. Eventually, you'll learn a profound lesson from the riddle. For now, get comfortable with the limitations of your intellect and the reality of not knowing. It may, in fact, be the only reality there is. Wow. Okay, so red on the left. Ponder these koans, that the coin that's lost in the river is found in the river. If you meet the Buddha, kill the Buddha. On the right in black, who am I? The only way to work with a riddle successfully is not to work, right? Like the thread, you're just connected to it, and you understand that you cannot detach from it, that you're connected, it's from your very core, from your very seed. The riddle unfolds. When in light, the riddle represents a great awakening or aha moment. When dark, can show manipulation, deceit, or trickery. Okay, so very fascinating spread for Mr. Harrison. Yeah, this is him in a nutshell. He was the one who did tackle his quote-unquote shadow self, the one who spent time, who did the work, meditating and concentrating on his place in the universe, his place in the band. His place in the band is basically as the mysterious one, the mystery, the thread that holds the band together. That is Mr. Harrison. What do you guys think about this reading? Any thoughts on the cards yourselves, just from a general cold reading, without knowing what the guidebook has to say? What do these cards spark within you? Definitely some stuff to think about. But again, I feel like it's spot on with Mr. Harrison and his whole MO in life. Very, very, very fascinating. Okay, guys. Well, that is Mr. Harrison and Mr. Lennon done. Next, I think we're going to do Paul McCartney. We'll do Paul McCartney, then Mr. Ringo, and then we'll do Mr. Billy. And we'll see what the remaining 3 Beatles have to say with their cards in archetypal form. Please join me for the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you later. Bye.